Well, we got 25 seconds more than last week, but still this episode left much to be desired and yet answered some questions that were a bit necessary. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Matty Rants. Let's talk about American Horror Story Episode 9, Fire and Rain. This is a recap, review, and a rant all put into one. I'm just gonna go over the episode here. If you haven't seen it, stop watching, go watch it, then come back. Because spoiler alert, I'm just gonna go through the whole thing in my own special way. Start off with a rant by two people with the worst haircuts ever, more so from the blonde bowl than the brown bowl. But the blonde bowl was upset and continued to be mad at people and, guess his coffee was terrible. We had a good 5 minutes of that argument, only to have Miss Lavender Vienna Sausage, Miss Venable herself, come up and tell us that I need more to do. What's going on, kids? She's had enough and she threatens to quit and walks out or, pum-pums out the door. And that gives one of the Hardy Boys an idea. Cue the covered music. La, 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 la. Once you hear that, you know a witch is around. Mallory is still bringing things back to life, but is not doing so well like before. All I really thought about was, why is there a dead bird on this lovely plate sitting on this table? Disgusting. Of course, Cordelia and Myrtle give her support. And then we shift over to Queenie, Zoe, and Bubbles giving a masterclass, or at least trying to get the girls to put a protection spell over the house. One that's already existent, but I guess they're trying to reinforce it. But good old Dinah Stevens, look, I had to say it just like that, Dinah Stevens decides to be that bitch and break down the wall. We already know money was involved or some kind of deal is made because she's in it for herself. Michael Langdon and Rosie the robot walk in and decide to stop the witch's party. Child, Bubbles told him to go F himself, which I was all for Bubbles on that. Like, girl, we've already known this was gonna happen. Up yours. Like, she already knew this was gonna go down. Basically, Bubbles was killed. Zoe got shot in the face. I'm like, how was this so quickly done? I don't understand. They gave Gabourey a couple moments here. I'm sorry, Queenie a couple moments. But the way Queenie died too was garbage. I was like, man, they killed them off way too soon. I really wanted them to live, but I already had a feeling this was gonna happen based on the previous episodes. However, it just still sucked to see them go. Sorry, Queenie. Sorry, Zoe. Sorry, Bubbles. And I was just starting to like Bubbles. We just got to Bubbles, man. But Dinah Stevens, bitch ass. 13 episodes, girl. I hope it was worth it. Michael goes upstairs trying to find Cordelia and the rest of the Scooby gang and unfortunately comes up with nothing. He goes home and starts pitching a fit. I'm so angry, blah. Miss Mead is listening to all of this because, she's an android at this point in time. And what we realize is the Hardy Boys are actually controlling her and saying the thing and using her to speak to Michael and to figure out what's going on. When they start asking Michael for his ideas and what he wants to do to, I guess, bring about the apocalypse, Michael then gives the entire plot for the Omen 3. For those of you who just showed up, the cooperative is the Illuminati. Like, we already didn't know that. And then the Hardy Boys gave Michael the idea to do the whole nuclear warhead situation, just blow everybody up. It's technically raining fire, and it's in Revelations. They had to pull out the damn book on the boy. But little Mikey just wants to kill the witches. Is it gonna get them? Yeah, it's gonna get them. Speaking of Cordelia and the Pussycat Dolls, we end up at Misty Day's house with no Misty and are told briefly she's touring with Stevie. For those of you who are wondering where she was, there's your answer. The rest of the privileged witches are just hiding out at this point in time right now since Michael Langdon and Rosie came in there and shot up the joint. So Cordelia tries to bring back her girls. And she goes into the other zone, as I like to call it, to bring them back to where both Queenie and Zoe just disappear. Madison tells her, well, actually, girl, this is something I found out when we were at the house. The one you sent me to? Yeah, he can erase souls. Like that. Cordelia slaps a bitch. Which Madison's like, I told you he was the Antichrist. That was enough information. Which, I'm with Madison on that one. That's enough information. Just imagine the possibilities open, okay? Remember the name of the spell, but it would have her go back in time to then say change something in history. And if she's able to do this, she is truly the most powerful, because they're still trying to verify this information, apparently. Apparently. I'm not even gonna go back in time with you for that scene. Just know she went back there. She couldn't help Cicely out. Cicely was lost. That's not her name. I'm just calling her Cicely for those who are confused. Like, oh my God, she almost died. But she did go back there and she did almost fully help out the situation, but I think fate was in store for her to die, and that's why that happened. Cordelia and Myrtle have a little more mother and daughter time, and of course bring up Fiona, which a lot of us wanted to see this season. But Cordelia and Myrtle decide to go back to the basement where all the warlocks come from, only to find, and you know I was hot boots about this last night. I was mad about Queenie and Zoe. Oh yes. To find that Behold Chablis, beautiful name, was killed. And so was the spokesperson for Maybelline's underliner collection. Damn. We lost Behold and one of the best spokespersons ever for male makeup. Now this is some bullshit. Back to the Hardy Boys. Miss V's ready to walk out at this point in time. Our good friend Lavender Vienna Sausage. And she says, all right, I'm done. This has been cute, great. I hope y'all have a good time. But they, of course, tell her, come back, sit down. You might want to hear this tea. It's gonna benefit you. And she's told about the Illuminati, the cooperative, whatever you want to call them, and is given basically the keys to hold over one of the dungeons that we already know from episode 1 and 2 from one of the posts that they're gonna be at. But Michael pulls together the cooperative at the end of the episode and gives them the entire game plan for how things are going to take place. And that's how we leave the episode. So it wasn't horrible, it wasn't bad. It was still short, so it felt kind of like, y'all could have put all of that into just one big episode and gave us something a little bit more. But then again, this is their idea of how they want to present this, so I'm not knocking it. I'm just kind of like, Tell me what you thought of this week's episode. You know, next week is the finale. That'll be the last that we do for Apocalypse. Maybe I'll do a wrap-up episode or not. Tell me what you think. Get in the comment section below. Yeah, this has been an interesting season. This past episode was garbage. This episode was not horrible, but just kind of lackluster. My roommate fell asleep on me. It was crazy. See you next week. Oh, and tomorrow morning, I'll be going live on YouTube to talk about the All-Stars forecasting for RuPaul's Drag Race. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy, Matty Rants. Talk to you later.